having your heel loose on skis and skiing down, that is very challenging. You maybe don't remember what that feels like, but I do.
Yes, so you have to choose the good skins. Athletes have maybe 10 race skins at home, and depending on the snow conditions and depending on the stiffness, they're going to choose the good one. And the athletes wax the skins as well. So the the wax is very important as well. You can, yeah, you really have to after that.
Now, I've just heard the starter give the start to Katerina Ulida, who we remember better as Katerina Osichkina, a very, very successful junior athlete a few years ago. She has got married, changed her name, and is representing Bulgaria. And it's really exciting to see people coming back into the sport after successful starts. There is a very familiar face and shape going out the door there, Marianne Faton. Not often we see her starting at the back, if you like. And this is the one to watch. We've just seen start there, Melan Osa of Spain, who is a very successful sky runner. She is in the Golden Trail Series top 5 and used to be a soccer player. And we have been, I think we've got to keep an eye on her, Laetitia.
Yes, and actually she did a very good result on the vertical race French championship last weekend. Or yeah, she finished just behind Axel Mollare, so she seems really talented for sure.
And there is another familiar face, Caroline Ulrich of Switzerland, who was very disappointed in her race yesterday, didn't make it to the final, but she has had a bit of a cold, and was not expecting to particularly perform, but that will be a disappointment for her because it's one of her specialities.
Yes, and we saw Caroline Ulrich literally running, so we can see different techniques actually. Some athletes are more gliding and doing like long steps, and some are more running.
And that, yes, exactly. And we'll see a very big difference when we get, as you saw there, Caroline Ulrich, exceptionally experienced athlete. But we've just seen there Ursula Catton of Great Britain. British team have quite a few in this season. I first met Ursula when she was competing in the World Championships in Verbier in 2015. So good to see the longevity of a lot of these athletes as well. Polish team got quite a few athletes here. Their most successful one is is Ivona Januszczyk, but we've also on course already is Anna Tibor, who's a very successful mountaineer and the first woman to ever ski off Broad Peak in the Himalayas earlier this year.
Yeah, and here we can see it looks like cross-country skiing techniques. Actually, it's very close, and athletes used to do some classic ski cross-country skiing training, which is very good to improve the technique in ski mountaineering.
How does that help? Is it the sort of the gliding motion, the sort of pushing forward?
Yes, it's the glide is definitely more important in cross-country skiing, but the movement and the motion is the same actually. So yeah, it's on the flat like that. It's more or less the same technique. We just have more With the skins, I mean.
Yeah, I remember, yes, exactly, more underfoot. I remember, I mean, Werner Marti, one who's just retired. This is the first season he hasn't been competing for very many years. He's retired, but it was one of his main training tools, if I remember correctly, back in the day, was cross-country skiing, and it served him enormously well because he was able to have, I mean, he's tall, but he was able to get a great glide.
Yes, and Bernard Marty actually did a very good time on this race in 2017, I think, something like that.
Yes, indeed.
22 minutes.
Yeah. Well, he was European champion in vertical, I think in 2022, if I'm correct. So this is the second Bonnell off the start line already this morning. In fact, the third. There we are. All the Bonnell sisters/cousins are off the start line. Now, look at this. This is different. We've just seen gliding and fast, and it's now starting to slow down. Or is that somebody just looking at the course? Talk us a little bit through this course, Laetitia. Sort of, you know, it's flat here, gets steeper. Are there some tricky bits mentally as well as physically?
Yes, it's a race I really enjoyed actually, because it's never the same rhythm. It's never the same. The steep is always changing, and yeah, there are many change of rhythm actually all the way long. So yeah, it's tricky because you have to be strong on the flat to have a good technique on the flat, to have a good technique when it's steep, and when it's steep, athletes need to push on the arms, and especially because some parts are in the forest, so it's really nice as well. Thanks to that, it's not on a slope, you know, all the way the same pace. It's changing the environment as well, and in the forest, the tricky part is that it's most of the time it's a bit more humid, and the snow gets a bit icy. So yeah, athletes have to be strong, have a strong upper body, and but yeah, it's really motivating to change, and for the legs as well, to change the rhythm, to run, sometimes to glide and run again and glide. So yeah, really interesting.
Yeah, because at the beginning I said it's just a case of starting and going as fast as possible to the top, but it's not quite as simple as that, is it?
Yeah, not really. No, you have to, for this kind of race, you need a super strong mindset for sure from the start to the end. It's pretty short, actually, 510,
I think.
10 meters climb. It's pretty short, 20 minutes effort. For me, it's the hardest effort, actually. The sprint is more intense, but the vertical race, you really have to keep this intensity during 20-25 minutes. So yeah, it's really hard for the body and hard for the mind, as you said.
We're absolutely rattling through the women here. We are at number 16 here. There's Thibaut Dessin of Switzerland, young athlete. She's got some fairly clear vertical goals this year. She would like to be in the top 10 at some point, but she would like to get better at sprint and be in the top. Basically just improve very much on last year. She had a podium in the under 23 rankings and a great that's my fault. She would love to have a podium in the under 23 rankings, because why we don't see anymore is podiums for the under 23 athletes at every event they do have their own ranking systems throughout the season. Anna Alonso, well, we were happy to see her back after her injury this summer.
And just before we saw Victoria Kreuzer, very strong Swiss woman as well.
Yes.
And Axel Monoregashi.
So both of those women, former teammates and or competitors of yours. The very first time I met you, I met Victoria Kreuzer, who has been a little bit plagued with injury, but is back. She's an excellent vertical athlete. And now we're really getting into it. We've got all the big names now, and they will be now going every 30 seconds.
Yeah, and we saw just Axel Gashimulari taking the start. She was a bit, here she is. She was a bit sick this week actually, so I don't know, if she's going to be able to push as usually. We'll see.
Okay, we're into the top 10. So now the women will start to go every 30 seconds, starting there with Marta Garcia Fares, who was third in the vertical at the European Championships in January this year. Marianne Faton, number 50 there.
And here we can see it's a bit different than usually because they didn't groom the snow. So they are tracks from the actually the open race who happened just before the World Cup. But it's a bit different. It's you have to choose a bit the track and or to go off track maybe, because sometimes the grip is better.
And we're going to actually see throughout this 2 split times. One at, well, the course is 3.2 kilometers long, just for information, but we will see a split time at 1.5 kilometers and then 900 meters from the finish. So we will be able to have some graphics up, all being well, telling us exactly who is where in the rankings, because of course with this split, this time trial start, we can't always tell who's winning. Lisa Moraschini of Italy, 5th in the European Championships in January this year. And Giulia Compagnoni of Italy, very strong athlete, 9th in the European Championships. And here we have one of the main contenders for an overall title, Giulia Morada. Italian vertical champion in 2023. And a great set of results, a very consistent set of results last year. 7th, 5th and 7th in the verticals.
Good glide for
sorry, go on.
No, we could see Lisa Moraschini, who was a good example for a good glide.
Johanna Hiemer of Austria. Very, very exciting race for her in her home turf in Schladming last season. Is this the gliding you were talking about? Oh, it's gone.
Sorry.
Here we are, Célia Perrier-Pessé of France.
Who finished third at the French Champs last week of the vertical race.
Indeed.
And Celia, who was a bit disappointed, I guess, yesterday, so maybe today, even if it's not her favorite race. But
here's the woman of the moment, Emily Harrop of France, yesterday's winner, first winner of the season. She will be looking for another overall title, and by that we mean the person who has the most points across all of the disciplines. Look at that lovely still upper body.
Yeah, it's she's very strong and yeah,
That's Celia Perepesi. Just so we're clear, number 4 there. And Alba Di Silvestro, she is on form the last few years. She's been doing a lot of mixed relay with Michele Boscacci and had an absolutely cracking season last year. 3rd in the World Championships, 2nd at the European Championships, and for her first vertical win in Andorra in January this year. So it will be super interesting to see how she does today and across the season, of course. And our number 1 woman in the red bib, coveted red bib, Sarah Dreyer, last year's vertical discipline winner from Austria. First at Schladming in her home turf, 2nd at the World Championships and the current European champion. And that's all the women away. Wow, that fairly goes quickly, doesn't it? So now we will be starting to see we'll see the men starting, the sort of lower ranked men, but we will hopefully see further up the course and start to get some timings. Very confusing for me that the Austrians have changed their uniform to black or green or both. But good to see Sarah Dreyer out there. Some really exciting racing from her, hopefully this season.
It is steep here. We can see it's not the same glide.
No.
No, here you have to push definitely on your arms, and yet the glide is not possible anymore. Margot Ravinel, who did an exceptional fit yesterday.
Yes, 3rd, her first World Cup podium in the seniors. And she's actually ahead of some of the people that she started behind. So she's clearly on great form this weekend.
It is hard, this format, time trial, because in one way it's super motivating to catch the one in front, but in another way it's very hard to know if you're good or not. Sometimes your feeling is not really connected with the real performance. Sometimes you don't feel good, but you're actually pretty fast. And here it's hard to know. So it's motivating to catch the other, but at the same time, when someone catch you, it's very, very hard to keep concentrated and to keep pushing and to stay focused on your race and on your effort.
Yes, it must be quite a mental game.
It is. It is actually, more battle against yourself, I think, than the other almost, because they aren't all together, so it's not the same emulation.
But I tell you what's lovely about this is normally when we watch a vertical race, the camera is following the top. Well, in the men's race, it's usually the top one, but usually it's the top group. But here we're getting to see lots of different athletes, some who might not normally make it onto the live broadcast, and it's a really nice opportunity to see the different nations, to see the different styles and levels of experience as well.
Yes, you're right. We normally see most of the time the top athletes, so it's nice to see a bit the others.
I was also Mariana Yaguchikova there with a very shiny new uniform.
Yes, it's very different than usually.
And also lovely to see here names popping up on the screen in the graphics. That is super useful, especially with all these people changing their uniforms. It's lovely to get a real view of who is racing today. So just a quick recap. We are in Courchevel. It is a cold and was foggy, but looks like some sunshine is coming through day here. And we have the women's race. There's Type Dessin, followed by the very well-known yellow helmet of Axel Gachet-Molleret, course record holder. And we will be seeing the men properly starting at 1 o'clock. But we're following the women's race until they're done. So exciting, Laetitia, because there are 63 women on the start line today, which is just, in the decade that I've been doing this, is such a huge, I mean, the size, the volume of women now is so encouraging, isn't it?
Yes, yes, yes. There are definitely much more athletes, much more nations, as we said, participating at the World Cups, which is super encouraging for the sport, and the density is definitely much more important and yeah than before, than 10 years before. So the level is it's hard. I mean, it's hard to, for example, Axel Molleret-Gachet, she broke the record on this race in 2022. So in the end, it's hard to go faster, but density for sure is much more important. And now there are much more many athletes who are just dedicating her life, or at least now, to the ski mountaineering. So yeah, in France there are many athletes who are in the military now, like in Italy, like yeah, and it's the sport is becoming more and more professional.
Mm. And it's, yeah, so exciting to see. We've talked yesterday a little bit about, you know, certain teams taking on full-time coaches, full-time physios, sort of really trying to up the consistency, I suppose, of preparation. And it's difficult because this is a small sport still. Many people still working or studying or trying to combine it all. So it is great to have these, as you say, the ability in many of the European countries, certainly, to join the army or the police or whatever it might be, in order to continue competing well.
Can we see already maybe the lap? The lap, I mean the intermediate time.
It hasn't popped up. On my, let me have a look. First split time. I'm just looking. Yes, we can. Axel Gachet-Molleret is, unsurprisingly, first past the 200-meter mark. Now I'm going to assume that's 200 meters of vertical in a time of 9 minutes 40. Followed, interestingly, by no, Chinese athlete Eugene Sidan Yuzen, and my apologies, Haley Hafman of United States, Anna Alonso in fourth. But there's a good gap between Axel and the next ones. She was at 9:40. The next athlete was 10:15. So that's 9 minutes 40 and 10 minutes 15. Caroline Ulrich in fifth. Malin Osa that we were keeping a quick eye on. Now, interesting to see a few sort of a couple of less experienced athletes. Does that mean, do you think they've gone quite hard at the start in order to... Do you know, I'm going to interrupt myself because I feel like we've got rankings also for the second one, and it's Malin Osa. But I'm going to wait. Do you know what I'm going to do, Laetitia? I'm going to wait for the graphics to come up.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to confuse anybody. That would be very wrong.
Yeah, for sure. But
however, we are... We do have a lot through the finish line. Not any of these women.
Yes, it seems that Marianne Osa is got the best time on the first split time and second split time.
There we go. Thank you, Christine.
Yeah.
And there is your former competitor, Victoria Kreutzer. So good to see her racing again. She's had some, been a bit plagued with foot injuries, hasn't she? She's back. She is the first across the finish line, in fact, Victoria Kreutzer. Her time is 27:29. Just to remind ourselves that Axel's record from 2022 is 23 minutes 54.
Yes, it's a big, big difference.
Yes, because at the second split time, Victoria Kreutzer was actually third fastest through. There we go. There is evidence of how tricky it is to ski in skins with your heels released.
Suspense will be until the end, I think.
But well done to Simone Troxler of Switzerland. Oh, the relief. Ryan Faton of Switzerland has just crossed the line, as we see here some of the men. There's Cameron Smith, 22, warming up.
Cameron Smith, who did a very good vertical race in 2 years ago or 3 years ago, maybe. Do you remember? Yeah.
Yes. Just in behind, was it at the very last second, Robert Antonioli? Yeah, and then he's had a couple of not great seasons with lots of injury, but it'd be good to see him back soon.
And here we can see the finish in downhill, which is very, very special for athletes as well. I think we don't need to go down with the skins like that. No. But it's quite long at the end. It can make a big difference.
So I seem to remember, was it maybe in Boitaul as well in Spain? Their vertical has a downhill finish, and it's pretty steep. So Malin Osa has finished in a time of 26:38. Marianne Faton has the second fastest time at the moment. Behind her, 27:24. So no records in the women's department, in the women's category today.
No, it's very interesting to see there is a big difference. Let's see with the men if it's because of the snow or we never know.
That was Katerina Ulida of Bulgaria, just in our screens there. But the top 5 at the moment, as it stands, let's remember it's the time trial, so as they say, it's not over until it's over. Melanosa of Spain, followed by Marianne Faton, Victoria Kreutzer, and Romain Gauthier of Switzerland. And we are getting some little shots of the men starting here. A huge men's field today. 102 of them.
yes, it's impressive.
Some good atmosphere here. It's such a popular race. I feel that people will know. A lot of new ski resorts that the World Cup goes to, sometimes people are not hugely aware of what it means, but here it will be absolutely familiar to them, seeing a vertical race. There we have the start list for the men. Again, based on the rankings of last season. Missing, of course, Werner Marti, because he is retired, and sadly Daniel Ganal, who was quite high up, he had a bit of an accident earlier this year and not ready to race. We wish him all the best in his recovery. So the interesting thing about the women, I mean, Melanosa has put a bit of a spanner in the works there, but we would have thought perhaps before that it might have been Axel Gachet-Molleret or Sarah Dreyer. I mean, it's too soon to tell. And then we had hoped perhaps to see Tove Alexanderson, but I'm not sure I saw her on the start line.
I think she's not here. I don't think we saw her.
I mean, Sarah Dreyer has won the Vertical Globe 2 years in a row, but Axel Gachet-Molleret, possibly one of the greatest, if not the greatest, female vertical athlete, certainly competing at the moment. And there are only 4 vertical races, so it all counts. It's not, there's no practice run.
Nope. No practice run. And here we could see Célia Perrier-Pessé on pushing, because actually it's a bit just before the last little downhill. There are flat and a little part a bit steeper and a flat again, so you really have to push and to give the best of yourself at this point. It's the last push of the race, because after that it's flat, so you have to keep concentrated until the end to avoid to crash or to do mistakes in this last downhill. But the last push is before.
Number 77, Andreas Meyer, taken off there for Austria. So a little change in the results at the moment. Still Melanosa at the top of the rankings, but Caroline Ulrich has sneaked in to second with the second fastest time ahead of Marianne Faton. But still a good 46 seconds, 46. That was very specific of me. Around about 45 seconds behind the fastest time currently, which is 26:38. Hayley Haefman of the United States there.
Second place with the Bips 72, representing Spain.
Right now, we can see the density between the five first women. They are pretty close.
Yes, all within sort of 15 seconds of each other. Anna Čufer of Slovenia finishing there, right on the middle of our screens. Anna is a geographer at the Triglav National Park, and there is Axel Gachet-Molleret finished. What has that done to the timings?
Yeah. We are waiting for the time to Axel.
Yes, she's done it, 25:30. That is the time to beat. It's not up on my results, but it is on the live page. I can see Axel Gachet-Molleret has gone into first, 25 minutes and 30. Far from her record time, but still, that's not what counts today.
Yeah, still an incredible race and an incredible time.
Alessandra Schmidt of Switzerland coming up on our screens there. She did not have a great season last year, injured, ill, and you can see that sort of, you were talking about there, the pushing and the pressure to keep yourself going there. It's looking tough, but Alessandra Schmidt has had a good rest and is feeling on top form and looking forward to a really exciting season. Her very first SkiMo race, do you know what it was, Laetitia?
Sorry?
Alessandra Schmidt's very first ski mountaineering race. The small Patrouille des Glaciers.
Oh.
Just, you know.
For a Swiss girl, it's a good start.
Yeah. So that's her finished.
It is kind of stressful, actually, for example, for Axel Gachet-Molleret, who is at the finish. You know, it's like in alpine ski when you are waiting for the others.
Yes, hoping they'll be okay, but perhaps they have a small slow down somewhere on the course. Okay, here we are. Axel Gachet-Molleret, not on the screens, but on mine. Sitting first at the moment, ahead of Mélan Ossa, and Margot Ravinel goes into third, ahead of Anna Alonso and Caroline Ulrich. That, at the moment, is our top five. France, Spain, Switzerland. Amazing. Fantastic comeback from injury from Anna Alonso. That is fantastic.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And here are two contenders. Emily Harrop with...
So here, it's exactly here, you see. We can see they are pushing, because it's the last push. It is the last push, and Célia Perrier-Pessé, she's trying to keep with the... no, sorry, it's not Célia Perrier-Pessé. Emily Harrop.
I think it was Emily.
Yeah, I thought it was Célia just
with
behind.
Johanna Himmer, I think. But there's Sarah Dreyer. There's Emily Harrop, and she has Johanna Hiemer. She's creating a bit of a gap there, though. They work very close, but Johanna Hiemer looking tired. This looks like a tricky section.
It is at the end when you're completely done and tired, and you have to keep pushing on this downhill part, and because you can lose a lot of time. So yeah, you have to stay concentrated. And here we can see the difference of the glide. You see, it's incredible.
Oh, Johanna Hiemer, bold.
It's incredible. She has an incredible glide.
And she will have done well because she took
Oh
off a minute behind Emily Harrop. So Emily Harrop goes into second, Johanna Hiemer into fourth.
Incredible, the glide of Johanna Hiemer. It was impressive.
The downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we
yeah,
still go on.
She overtake Emily Harp with yeah. It's not like in cross country skiing, as I said, with the skins. To have a big difference like that of glide, it means that I don't know if it's the skins, if it's the wax, if it's the position of the because when you put your skis on the edges, you have more glide. Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah.
That is Alba Di Silvestro of Italy. An excellent downhill skier, so this will be not too much of a bother for her. Oh, Sarah Dreyer has finished. She's gone into third. I beg your pardon. Sorry, it's Alba Di Silvestro has finished, gone into fourth. My apologies. Celia Peria-Pessé into 11th. And I think I hear Christine saying Sarah Dreyer has finished. In fact, gone into third.
It seems that the best. It seems that the best athletes just
there
finished.
We are. So we have Axel Gachet-Molleret winning the first vertical of the season. A little less of a dramatic announcement from us, Laetitia, because normally we can say, and they're coming, and it's woohoo across the line. Today, a little more calm. Axel Gachet-Molleret wins in a time of 25:30, followed by Emily Harrop, her compatriot, in a time of 25:42. The newcomer, but one we were keeping an eye on from Spain, Malin Osa Ansa in third. Johanna Hiemer takes fourth, Margot Ravinel in fifth, Alana Alonso sixth, Julia Murada, Caroline Ulrich. Now I don't think this can be right. This is provisional because I don't see Sarah Dreyer on my list, so bear with us.
Yes, you're right, Sarah Dreyer. She's not here.
Not on our list. So bear with us. We will come back to you on that. But we're now up into certainly the top 40 of the men. That was Marc Gradua, I think, just took off. Indeed, Marc Gradua-Iverne of Spain, just ahead of Christian Januszek of Slovakia.
Here it is. I think we have the podium of the woman.
We do. Thank you. Axel Gachet-Molleret takes the win ahead of Emily Harrop, Sarah Dreyer into third, Alba Di Silvestro in fourth, Malin Osa Ansa in fifth, Johanna Hiemer sixth, Margot Ravinel seventh, Anna Alonso in eighth, ninth and 10th go to Giulia Murada of Italy and Caroline Ulrich of Switzerland. So a great race there from the French team, 3 in the top 10.
Yes, and a very good result for Axel Gachet-Molleret, who was sick. I think 3 days ago, something like that. So yeah, She's very strong.
And
Axel
just to
Gachemolare,
mention,
congratulations. Victory in the first vertical race of the season. How was the race?
Fine. It was a hard race because I was a little bit sick this week, but it was a little better and better each day. So I know I can try something today. Of course, I'm really far from my best time here, but I'm still first, so it's quite a victory. The not so easy because the sensation was not so good, but not so bad, so it's okay.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
oh my word, just shows you what she can do when she's sick. Let's wait to see what she manages this season when she's on absolutely flying form.
Yes.
Very impressive. So I just wanted to also say what a great day. Before we switch to the men, I wanted to say a great weekend for Margot Ravinel. 3rd yesterday and 7th today. What a fantastic result for the young athlete from Chamonix. Right, let's talk about the men, Laetitia. Obviously,
Yes.
there is one man to beat today. Can it be done? Rémi Bonnet has not lost a vertical within the ISMF World Cup, European Championships, or World Championships since 2020.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. Yeah.
And
He's
it's
really dominating the vertical race.
incredible. He's had fantastic results within the individual as well. I think he's only lost one of those. He's on such fantastic form. And how is he, what's the secret? I wish we all knew, I guess, but it feels like he is unbeatable. However, it is the beginning of a new season. He has had a great summer. He beat a very old vertical record on Pikes Peak, if I remember correctly, running this summer. But let's see who might be in competition with him. Might. Paul Verbniak. I always like to say the young athlete, but he's not so young anymore. He's still a young man, but he is a very experienced athlete. Is just going from strength to strength, the Austrian athlete there. I think he could be a contender. We also, of course, have Maximilien Drian, who was second in the World Championships last year behind. Oh, there's Cameron Smith having a bit of a wobble at the start. But so, yes, let's quickly run through them. Max Drian, possibly Christoph Hochenwarter of Austria, Aurélien Gay of Switzerland, Thibaut Anselme of France, Samuel Eki of France, both Bussard twins, Thomas and Robin of Switzerland, Federico Nicolini, and Gideon Pochat-Cotiou. I think probably the main contenders for some good spots in the men's vertical this year. All very strong athletes. Max Drian will be on fire today, I suspect, with motivation after a disappointing showing in the sprint yesterday. Oh, look at that takeoff.
Yeah. Yeah, what a great start. Great demonstration. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I'm just trying to see who that was.
Yes.
I think that might have been Nicolo Canclini. Anselme Damavin of France, 4th in the World Championships in 2023 and 6th in the European Championships earlier this year for France. Just saw him start there. That, I think, is Nicolo Canclini on our screens of Italy. Talk me through, Laetitia, a little bit the difference between the men and the women on this particular race in terms of strength, technique, abilities in general.
In general, I think men are a little bit more are more powerful. It's it's an evidence. So here for the glide, for the technique on the flat, I think the level could be, or the performance could be the same actually. But then, yeah, they are more powerful. So when you have to push, when it's steep, when it's it's hard to do the same performance for a woman than a man. Oh, I know. Robert Antonioli doing a great start as well.
Yeah, one of the absolute. I mean, I hesitate to use legend, but he really is a bit of a legend of the sport, Robert Antonioli. There's very little that man has not won in ski mountaineering, and he was telling me that he was doing lots of training with the youngsters in the Italian team, and he says it always motivates him to stay good, get better, because they're all coming up fast and looking so strong, and it keeps him motivated.
Yes, he's impressive, Robert Antonioli. He's on the circuit for many years now, and yeah, still so motivating, and he has a great spirit. I'm really impressed by his spirit. Yeah.
And very quickly, last thing on him, he just became a daddy again for the second time this year, so that's exciting. But here is a man with a fire in his belly today, just taking off, Max de Riant of Belgium. He had a cracking season last year and will really be hoping to make up for yesterday's sprint and keep up his points. But here we are on the flower ceremony for the women.
Courchevel, third place, representing Austria pour l'Autriche, Sarah Reyer. Le prix remis par Madame Marie-Noëlle Perrier en représentance de la mairie de Courchevel. Dans le sapin avec la
It's okay, thank you.
pour les athlètes.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank you.
Second place, representing France pour la France, Émilie Caroc. C'est monsieur la carrière
Well done.
qui remet le prix donc à Émilie Caroc, la carrière présidente de la Fédération française montagne escalade.
Christmas tree.
Winner, première place. Elle gagne donc aujourd'hui cette première place de la saison pour la France. Receiving the prize from the hands of
Regular Meyer, the president of the ISMF, congratulating the top three in the women's vertical. A great day for France on home turf, and beautiful little baubles there for the Christmas tree, very quickly branded with their names on. How lovely. So back to the men, and we have 12 athletes through the second. In fact, we have 2 athletes already across the line. At the top, but 102 men to get through today. So that's a lot, but we're getting to the top of the tree here. There is Aurélien Gay, a young man from Valais in Switzerland. A former junior under 23 European vertical champion, so he has some form and really coming into his own in this senior category now. 5th in the European Championships earlier this year, and some great vertical results on the podium in Cortina this last season, 6th in Schladming, 9th in Andorra. So he will be hoping to do really well. He is a compatriot of Remy Bonnet, so knows the competition very well, but we'll be hoping to make a good showing this season.
Dernier départ dans quelques instants.
Sayed Sadradinov of Azerbaijan there, just on our screens. The Azerbaijanis will be looking forward, well, we hope they'll be looking forward to hosting in January. And here's the man to beat, Laetitia, Rémi Bonnet of Switzerland. Can he keep up his 4-year dominance over this race?
He knows this slope by heart, this track by heart.
He does. He is the record holder, which he set in 2022, the time of 20:34. We didn't see any records beaten in the women's race today, but you never know what might happen.
Rémi running, but at the same time gliding, which is, yeah.
It's impressive, isn't it? It really is. As there we see Cameron Smith of the United States, followed by, I don't think that was Flemish timing, but Julian Tritcher of Austria, that's who it was. Pablo Giner of France just gone past there, number 75.
And Oscar Sliwinski with number 88, eighth. After the finish.
Already 10 men, yeah, crossed the finish line.
Including one we know well, Hansing Klette, currently sitting fastest at 23:10. Very good Norwegian sprint athlete, Hansing Klette, has gone into the lead.
Il faut continuer avec un bon esprit. Merci beaucoup. Bravo Romain. Elliott. 83, crossing the finishing line.
They are really close. 15 seconds. It's very, very close, and 30 seconds for the 10 best men. If yeah, you know that if you manage to close the gap with the one in front of you, you know that it's a good,
yes,
point, it's a good performance.
And Albert Perez Angles of Spain has gone into the lead. He's got the fastest time, 22:50 currently.
Florian Sautel.
He had a big
sprinter.
He had a big fan club out there yesterday, didn't he?
Yes, yeah, it was so nice.
He's a canyoning guide in his other life. Just married this summer as well.
You can see the pain.
Yeah, Basile Ducouret of France. And number 73 there, as you say, that's the face of pain.
Toujours au premier temps intermédiaire, see that the first intermediate time, best time for Paul Vernier, the second best time for Niels Overauer. After crossing the finishing line, best is Albert Perez.
He gave a best, I think.
Yeah. Basile Ducouret finishes in 10th. That's what we expect to see at the end of a vertical, isn't it, Laetitia?
Yes, it's normally hands like that.
I have been the commentator on the finish line, taking people's skis off as they are just incapable of moving. Daniel Zug of Austria just crossing the line there in second place. Much current second place. Also much more of a sprinter, but that is a good result for him.
Seems that right now the Maximilien Drillon du Chapois got the second time on the first split time. And Paul Vernac the first time.
Exciting. Well, there we go, William Bombardien. Now there's a man who just doesn't appear to be ever going to stop. I think he's going to be 41 or 42 this year. He's just come in at the fastest time, current fastest time, 22:41. A good, excellent example for the younger athletes everywhere, but especially in the French team, of just consistency and breadth across the sport.
Yes, an example of longevity. He's still here.
We've just seen Samuel Iki go past, and he holds the 8th fastest time over this course at 21:52. Now here's a good sprint, vertical racer, Federico Nicolini of Italy. I think that sounds like William Bombardien being interviewed in the background.
Merci beaucoup, William. Et alors, William Bombardien, comme d'habitude, sera protagoniste dans les grandes courses, dans les courses individuelles. L'arrivée, donc, c'est toujours le temps à battre, c'est celui de William.
Rémi Bonnet should rode the first split time, I guess, soon.
Alors, le passage des derniers, le temps pour
best time for Rémi Bonnet on the first split time.
Premier scratch. Toujours le meilleur temps, celui de Paul Vernac. Et c'est maintenant le deuxième parce que Rémi Bonnet, il a foutu tous les temps. Et il est le meilleur sur les premiers temps intermédiaires avec 7,24,7. Vraiment, il vole sur ses skis.
Okay, I think we're just going to let Christine do the commentating for us. Yeah. Doing an excellent job at the top of the course there. The ISMF course commentator, Christine Cavigny, keeping us all informed with her fantastic knowledge of all the athletes and keeping us up to speed. We have the advantage of seeing what's happening further back, but she really is on top of it all up there at the top, isn't she? Just seeing an American athlete coming up there, number 62, that's Jules Gogli. It's great to see. We've seen that the Americans have taken on Oscar Angeloni, who you know well, who has a coach this year. He was previously with Switzerland and then China, and has now gone to be the United States SkiMo coach. So that is really exciting to be able to see, because it's really difficult for the athletes who are not based in Europe to come, because all the races, the majority of the races are here, and they have to make a massive commitment if they want to really be involved, especially this year with the Olympic qualifying. So it's always great to see when they're coming. I know that the Americans, the Canadians and Australians are making some supreme efforts, amongst others, to be here this season, to really get in the mix for the qualifying for the Olympics, which does not include the vertical, but it's all good experience.
Yeah, but you're right. It's pretty hard for athletes from North America, so from the USA and or Canada. I guess it's a bit the same. They don't have a lot of support by their federation. I mean, they don't have a lot of money, so it's very hard for them, and they have to come here to compete against the best athletes. Otherwise, they have no chance if they stay there. The level is it's not possible for them, so they have to come here and make maybe more effort than European athletes.
Indeed, and I saw, I mean, the Australian Federation in particular has been recruiting a lot of people, and they've done what I think lots of the sort of new nations are doing, are finding people who are good, very, very good in other sports, trail running, biathlon and so on, and saying, let's get you trained up into ski mountaineering because you have the fitness, you have the mentality, so it would be good to get you involved in this sport. And it's really interesting to see people coming across at a high level from other sports.
It's kind of surprising. On the first split time, Thibaut Anselme got the 19th time. So let's see if maybe he's gonna do like in sprint. He's gonna come back during the race, but it's it's surprising.
Yes, because it's a very different amount of time or distance from a sprint to come back from.
Yes.
But currently at the first checkpoint, we have the fastest times for the men: Rémi Bonnet of Switzerland, Paul Verbniak of Austria, Aurélien Gay of Switzerland, Max Drion of Belgium, Niels Oberauer of Austria, Paul J of France, Johannes Lofheyer of Austria, Thomas Bussard of Switzerland, Clement Spanning of Slovakia, and Federico Nicolini of Italy.
Thank you very much.
Slovenia, I beg your pardon, Clement Spanning of Slovenia.
21h45.7, donc c'est pas le meilleur temps de Xavier Gachet non plus, c'était 20h24.82, mais quand même lui il est premier. Et on a maintenant premier Xavier Gachet, deuxième Paul G, Samuel Eki, quatrième le jeune italien Herman de Bertolis. Very good race for Herman. Bravo Herman, quarto posto al momento, cinquième William Bombardier, sixième Albert Perez. Sur les temps intermédiaires, le deuxième temps intermédiaire, le meilleur est Paul Verbniak avec 16,46,2. On attend les meilleurs 10. Deuxième, Max Drion avec 16,47. Deuxième temps intermédiaire sur le deuxième temps intermédiaire avec Max Drion. Paul Verbniak le premier. Attends donc le passage des meilleurs 8. Johannes Lofheyer, 5th place.
We are in Courchevel and we're coming towards the end of the first vertical of the ISMF World Cup season 2025. I know we're still 24, but it is the 25 season. It's an exciting season for ski mountaineering because it's the first time we've been in a qualifying year for the Olympics, which will happen in Milan Cortina in February 2026. So although this is not qualifying or a race that's going to the Olympics, it's just really great to see everybody. This particular discipline is not going to the Olympics, just great to see such huge turnout there, as we saw Cameron Smith of the United States go past there. He has some form in the vertical, but as I say, come back from a couple of years of injuries and operations and feeling on form There he is, crossing the line into the 4th fastest time. He'll be celebrating, no doubt, with a croissant. That is his mission when he's in Europe, to eat as many as possible. But going back to the serious business of timing, Paul Verbniak has gone into the fastest time at the 2nd split time. Oh, somebody's lost the pole. Paul Verbniak has gone into first timings there, but at the 2nd, as I say, at the 2nd split time. He was, however, first at... Oh, what have we got?
We got the time of Rémi Bonnet on the 2nd split time. So he's in front. And then Aurélien Guillet. Second split time.
Xavier Gachet has just gone into first place, up at the top of the hill.
And Paul G, who is second on the ranking now, but the provisional ranking, he finished 3rd on at the French Champ, the vertical race French Champ last weekend. So we didn't really see him before, but he's in a good shape this year.
We've just seen the 2 Austrians there, Paul Verbniak and Nils Oberauer. Suspect Paul's going to come in and take over that top spot. Lucky number 13 for Paul today. And he just won the Test Nations, 4 Nations Test event a couple of weeks ago. And there is the man to beat, Rémi Bonnet, as
always running, so impressive.
Overtaken Federico Nicolini, who started about 2.5 minutes before him.
Well, the Italian team.
Yeah, Robert Antonioli. And right at the back of our screens in the black helmet is Maximilien Drian of Belgium.
It's definitely super motivating to see the other athletes in front and to overtake, and Rémi is always he looks so light on the skis, and the fluidity is always so magical.
He does really just make it look so easy.
Yeah, it's fascinating, really.
Maximilien Drian there, coming in just in front of Robert Antonioli. I beg your pardon, I think that was Matteo Sestizzo. And this is a view we're used to seeing in the more traditional vertical races. Rémi Bonnet just running, as the Swiss call it, Wernering, because it was Werner Marty's style.
Yeah, he's reaching the last part of this climb and running all the way long. It's never stops running. Rémi, he's a strong trail runner, so yeah, we can imagine he used to, but still so impressive.
Incredibly impressive.
Like Kilian Jornet, I think they are. See that they are like superhuman, you know. It's the domination is so impressive.
Isn't that what Kilian Jornet's book is called? Extraterrestrial? It's not of
that.
this world.
Yeah.
Robin Bussard there, trying not to be caught by his compatriot. Robin Bussard, one of the Bussard twins.
Yeah, I think today Remy is really fighting against himself to beat his record, but yeah, he has an incredible strong mindset.
No, just checking his timings. His personal time to beat is 20 minutes 34 seconds. Oh, I think it's easily beaten.
Under 20, it's it's incredible. Under 20, it's it's an incredible performance.
Remy Bonnet, I think we can probably safely say, has won.
It's fantastic.
And I think not far behind him, Aurélien Guay.
Wow, what an exceptional performance for Remy Bonnet. Under 20 minutes, it's so tough, we can't imagine, but to beat the record of just some couple of seconds or 10 seconds, but it's this time it's more than 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's 50 seconds. It's 2034, and you just did that in 1947. So, yeah, about 45 seconds worth. So,
it's fantastic. It's terrific. Oh, yeah.
Well, he's definitely on form, and there is his teammate Aurélien Guay, who I think has taken second place in a time of 21:38, a full 2 minutes slower. Salmé there coming up.
So the conditions were definitely good, because to beat the record like that, you need to have the good conditions. You know, it's very it's very important. Even if Remy Bonnet is superhuman, if you don't have the good conditions, you can't break the record like that. But it's an incredible performance.
And what difference does it make? Because normally this is a night race. As we see Thibault Salmé coming across, it's daytime. Does it make a difference?
Yeah, I think it can. On the snow, the impact on the snow is different. At the end of the day, maybe the snow gets refrozen. How do you say?
Refrozen. Yeah,
refrozen. Yeah, and so the glide can be a bit less good. And I think the best glide is when the snow is a bit humid. You know, like today it seemed like perfect. Yeah, fresh snow just packed by the.
Here we are. Remy Bonnet takes the win ahead of Aurélien Guay. Xavier Gachet in a fantastic third place. Paul J of France there also in fourth. Some great results there. Here we go. Mine has refreshed on my screen. Max Drian takes fifth. Thomas Bussard of Switzerland in sixth. Michele Boscacci, seventh place for him. Eighth for Spain with Oriol Cardona-Coll, ninth for Paul Verbiac, and a great comeback from injury, 10th place for Cameron Smith of the United States.
Yeah, and the gap between Remy Bonnet and the second one is huge. Yeah. So he's still dominating, and with I don't know how we can explain. You asked me the secret before. I don't know. I think we have to ask him.
And he's not going to give it to anybody, is he?
Yes. No, I think he has for sure. Maybe the genetic, the morphology, just a strong mind, super strong mind, and then he's training a lot. But it's just we don't know. It's impossible to understand.
So Remy Bonnet keeps his clean sheet, as we say, across the vertical races in the ISMF, across all the races. He has not been beaten, Laetitia, since 2020. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't been in all of them. He wasn't at the European Championships in 22, for example. But so impressive how quickly they're getting those baubles ready.
Yeah.
Just as an aside. But yes, he wasn't at the European Championships in 2022 in Boitaoul, but every race he has competed in, and I think that's pretty much the only one he's missed, he has won. And not just won, but, as you say, dominated spectacularly.
Oh de Dieu, j'ai jamais
Yeah.
poussé comme ça. C'est la première fois que j'arrive à courir donc très raide, tu sais.
Oh, all sorts of chit-chat from Rémi
Je pense que
Bonnet
c'est
coming
parce
in
que
there.
je suis posé de ouf. Tu sais, j'avais la maison puis je m'entraînais qu'une fois par jour.
Remy Bonnet, congratulations, a fantastic victory in this first vertical race of the season with a new record beat. You ran in a vertical race here in Courchevel.
Yeah, I knew the race really well because I did it like I think 4 or 5 times already. So yeah, I think it's a big advantage when you know where to push and when you know like how much time you can hold like the maximum pace. And so I was like I think really prepared for that track, and it's I think why I am so fast today. I think maybe I am coming to the 30s. I have 30 years old like in 2 months, so maybe it's an advantage to know a bit myself more than the young guns.
Congratulations and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Rémi Bonnet, the winner, the first vertical winner of the season, and undoubtedly not his last vertical win of this season, talking to Christine Cavagnou and reflecting on his grand old age of nearly 30 and his experience here. A fantastic race also, though, for the young Swiss athlete, his compatriot Aurélien Guay, and a great race for Xavier Gachet and Paul J of France as well, Laetitia.
Yeah. Paul J. As I was telling, he finished third of the vertical race French Championship last week. So yeah, he seems to be in a very good shape as well.
He, I think, knows this course. I can see that he has skied it a couple of times and won it once and been second once as well. So he's obviously got a bit of experience here in Courchevel.
Yeah, and Rémi Bonnet was telling it's the first time I could run all the way long, even during the very steep part. Yeah, I think it just ran all the way long. It's yeah.
Yes, he is definitely the man to beat. Definitely, and we are going to go to flower ceremony very soon. Laetitia, it's been a great start to the vertical races, only 4 this season, but a really exciting one here, and we're going to quickly go to flower ceremony.
Yeah, great performance for Xavier Gachet. It's a good start into the season.
Yeah, Xavier Gachet, who had a phenomenal 2022 season, really fantastic. Up there, back on the podium. Aurélien Guay from Verbier in Switzerland, or near to Verbier in Switzerland. He'll be thrilled with that. Former European champion under 23 vertical racer. Well, he is definitely familiar with that position on the flower ceremony, that is for sure. As Regular Meyer, president of the ISMF, congratulates him and the other two. There we go. You can hear a little bit of secret chat there going on. Rémi Bonnet asking Xavier Gachet if that was his best ever time, and he's like, no. So there we go, a little bit of inside information. Laetitia, a fantastic day here, a great start to the season. Thank you so much for joining us. we have, for joining me, it has been just brilliant. We've got the results there, the first vertical race of the season, Axel Gachimolere up there at the top, where I imagine she would like to stay, but some tough competition behind her. All of those extremely strong women will be chomping at the bit. The next vertical is in Azerbaijan in the middle of January. Not one in Andorra this year, which is a big change. I don't know the last time there wasn't a vertical in Andorra. And then the last one of the year will be in Tromsø in April. So lots to see coming up in terms of the verticals. Well, not so much, but there will be a few. Rémi Bonnet takes the win, unsurprisingly, with a massive, almost 2 minutes over his competition. And some great results in there for the French team too. And of course, Cameron Smith of the United States, back from injury and into the top 10. So very many thanks for joining us. And we will see you very soon. Laetitia, thank you so much. It's been a great start, and we will see you again very soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.